Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Crio Women in Tech Scholars event that's powered by Geektrust. I'll speak a little bit about why we got into this, why we started this off, and why we chose to work with Crio. I'll start off by introducing myself. I'm Aishwarya. I head the contractor hire vertical at Geektrust, and I'm also part of the team that works as part of the team that plans a lot of these women in tech events. So what is Geektrust? Geektrust was started in 2015. Over the course of the last 7 years, what we've been working towards is to help organizations hire developers based on their coding skills as opposed to just their resumes. There's a lot that you can say in your resume that doesn't necessarily translate to the real world skills that you have. And what we're trying to do is help both sort of bridge that gap where developers can get placed on their coding skills and companies can hire based on a candidate's coding skills. Over the last 7 years, we've worked with 500 plus companies. We have more than 100,000 developers registered with us. That's where we stand today. Now, when it comes to women in tech, we've not really done too much work on, breaking it down or segmenting how we sort of plan for jobs for programmers. A code written by a woman or a man is no different. It's just the same, and the code doesn't know who it was written by. But what we did realize in the last 1 year or so, or what I personally noticed in the last year or two, is that the number of women developers we place in relation to the number of men developers we place is completely different, which is a little surprising because in a country like India, where the number of people getting into work or getting placed or starting off their careers is almost a 50-50% split. So there should be no reason why, as time progresses, the number of women who are looking to get into development or progress their careers in development significantly drops. This is a pattern we noticed. Over the years, there was a very specific organization that I was working with, where we placed about 40 developers, of which only 3 were women. So it sort of got us thinking that maybe there's a little bit of a gap that we're not addressing. Organizations are looking to hire women. It's not like the intent or the need isn't there. There are women developers who are getting trained every day, who are graduating out of engineering colleges. Why is it that we're not able to place as many women? So, which is when for Women's Day this year, we thought we would sort of partner with Crio, and Crio specializes in training and building good developers. We thought we have organizations that have the intent to hire women developers. We have women developers who want to get into work, who want to make their mark. And we have Crio, who's very good at training developers. So we thought, why not bring all of it together? We'll bring the organizations that want to walk the talk when it comes to diversity hiring. We understand how to evaluate clean code. We understand how to place candidates based on their code. And Crio understands how to train candidates in writing clean code. So we thought we'll bring these things together and put a program, start a scholars program that will help women developers get placed. That was the intent with which we started this, and we reached out to all of our clients. We had 17 fantastic organizations, many of them with women leading the technology teams that came forward to sponsor. These are organizations that are very friendly for women. These are organizations that do a lot of work in hiring women. And they also had the intent to hire women. But like any other organization that wants to hire women, they were struggling, which is why they decided to sort of walk the talk and sponsor the Women Scholar program here. And of these sponsors, we have 4 organizations who will be speaking today. These are women leaders in these organizations. They'll speak to you about their career path, how it's been working with each of these organizations, and they'll answer any specific questions you have on the organization as such. Before I go on to introducing the speakers, I'd just like to remind everyone to please stay on mute. If you have any questions, you please put it in the chat box and I'll be happy to discuss this with the speakers. So we'll get started. We have Gemeng Chin, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, who's a tech lead at Jiva. She's a senior leader with Jiva, and she's been with them for quite a while. She'll be speaking about how it is to work as part of the engineering team there. She'll be sharing her experiences of being a woman in tech. And you can ask her any questions you have. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you, Aishwarya. Yeah, you pronounced my name correctly. Let me just quickly introduce myself. So, yeah, very nice to meet you, everyone, and hope you're having a good evening. My name is Gemeng, and I'm from Jiva. So a little bit about myself. I joined Jiva at the beginning of last year, and currently is the tech lead of one of the streams about farming input. So I've been working in the industry for a little bit more than 7 years, and started as a software engineer in a tech company, and then joined the consultancy company for a couple of years. And it was a great time learning new things and get exposure to different technologies, different projects, and also got involved with training program as a trainer and as the lead trainer for training the trainers as well. So yeah, that was to help people who just enter the industry about what is good practices and what is good practices in terms of engineering and project management. So yeah, I joined Jiva at the beginning of last year, and it was a very so far it's been a really good experience. You may wonder what Jiva does and who we are. So yeah, Jiva is focusing on agriculture technology, and we have our shared goal is to have farmer first. We want to help the smallholder farmers via digitization, some of their day-to-day works, and make their day-to-day work easier in terms of farming, harvest, and getting certain logistics. So currently we have about 500 million users across the world, mainly in India and Indonesia. And for these farmers, we have quite a few streams of work going on. So the first one of the earliest stream of work that we started is the personalized agronomy advisory. So what it does is because some of the farmers may have very good knowledge about farming, but some of the farmers they don't, and they merely rely on the experience from their parents, their neighbors, rather than rely on certain data. So what we do is we help during the whole harvest cycle. We push advisory pieces, interactive advisory pieces to them, so they can based on their personal information, for example, when was the sow date, and what are the crop that they're growing. Based on their inputs, we give them personalized advices, and this helps a lot with the farmers' overall harvest. So yeah, this advisory pieces are pushing to the farmers across the whole farming cycle. So yeah, talking about farming cycle, another feature that we have, and which helps the farmer to get started with the farming cycle, is the microfinancing. At the beginning of the when they start the harvest, when they start to grow the crop, they may need a little bit of help financially to get started with, to buying inputs. For example, they will need a certain money to buy the seeds, the fertilizers, certain chemicals, etc. So yeah, we help them to get credits and loans to get started with farming. And then as I mentioned before, so when they get this like financial help, they can buy products they need from our platform. So the next feature, next stream of work that we have is the agriculture e-commerce. We provide the products that we need on our Android app. So the farmers and micro collectors and the users who are using our products in the fields, they can buy the inputs directly from the platform. And they can keep track of the order status in real time and see like what is the latest update for the order that they placed. Yeah, so yeah, in the end of the farming cycle, they can like self-harvest to us as well. So yeah, we help them to with the harvest logistics and yeah, buy harvest from them. And another, I think, important thing for the farmer is the insurance. So I'm not sure whether anyone here has any experience for farming, but I think farming has a lot to do with the weather, a lot of like factors that you can't really have a control. So it can be quite risky. So we help them with insurance as well in terms of when the weather is not good, if they lose their crop for like when they try to grow them, we help them to get the insurance so that at least the cost, the investment they had at the beginning can be recovered to a certain extent. Yeah, so this is about what we do. So a little bit, I guess my personal experience so far in Jiva, it's like very pleasant, and it's a really great opportunity to be in Jiva and learn from other people. I think one thing I really appreciate is the team. Everyone in the company has the, as I mentioned, the shared goal for Farmer First. It's really, I think personally for me, it's really important to build something which, well, I think is meaningful, which I think can help people. And I do believe that a lot of people share the same thought. Yeah, so in Jiva, like I think everyone share the same goal and working towards the same goal to make sure that like we can help the farmers in different regions, different locations, different countries, and make their life easier. And yeah, so Jiva is a startup. Like we had a few engineers at the beginning of last year when I joined, and now I think we have over 40 people in the engineering team across Singapore and India. We have a big team in Indonesia as well. Yeah, and so far it's been really a great experience. I guess I talk a little bit about the engineering practices because I think it's like something quite important. We have in Jiva, we have definitely have Android developers. We have backend in Ruby on Rails, GraphQL, and we have infra team to taking care of the infra for all the services. And some web apps on such as Retool for the admins, for the internal admins that who are going to help with the farmers and the micro collectors. So for all this, I think like I can't I can't emphasize more about the quality of the products. I think the good quality of the products is not only going to provide like a very nice user experience to the user, but also help the engineering team to develop fast and deliver like with confidence. So yeah, like in Jiva, we are all advocate for good quality for the product we're building. We write unit tests, we do TDD, we have integration automation test. Yeah, so yeah, I think like that's another thing that I want to highlight is that like engineering practices are shared across the engineering team, and we are like learning from each other and working towards to make it better. And another thing is the culture in Jiva. I think so far it's like been very open culture. Everyone has a lot of ideas and share their ideas. And in the team, we have the feedback culture, like we share the feedback very frequently between the team members, and we learn from each other, and this helps the individuals to develop and grow as well. So yeah, I guess that's all from me. Very happy to be here and very happy to meet you. Yeah, like happy to connect with you too if there's a chance. Yeah. I guess this is the Q&A time. Do you have any questions?
Thank you so much, Karan. One thing I want to say is it's very, very impressive the work that you guys are doing. You've taken something that is completely the opposite of software and you've built something to help people who are farming. Honestly, it's not something that I think is, um, it's not easy to do. It's not an easy bridge. It's not an easy gap to fill. And it's very impressive. And I think anybody who gets to work on things like this, it'll set a very strong foundation. And I think that's fantastic to do.
Thank you.
I'll wait for any questions that come up. Meanwhile, there are certain questions that come up quite often. There's one. What is the hiring process like? What are the steps that you typically go through? What do the candidates have to do before they get hired?
Yes, so I think for different roles, it could be different. I'm just gonna talk about the like engineering team mostly. So yeah, we do have, I think like if we talk about details, we have at least one round of technical interview, which is in general talking about like technologies that you're using, like what is your current projects, and maybe, you know, like basically to understand your like tech strength. And there will be another round of pairing session, which is, I'm not sure how many people have been like interviewed with pairing session, but like you will have some complete, well, semi or fully completed assignment, and the interviewers and the interviewees will pair and like try to do a little pairing together and see how, I guess, like besides it's a fun experience, it's also you know, like to see like how, you know, you work with people. Yeah. And there will be I think there will be another rounds of interview about like to see whether, you know, Jiva is the right place for you, and you want to, you're looking to like some organization at Jiva. So it's basically like communication, see whether if it fits for like both parties. Yeah. That's, but yeah, that's a current hiring process. I think, yeah, as I mentioned, we start up and it may change like slightly here and there over time. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay. What are the roles that you're currently hiring for at a junior or refresher level?
If I'm not wrong, we are hiring Android developers. We are hiring QA. We are hiring backend devs. I think that's the, and I think also, I think, yeah, for freshers, I think it's there are all these are all the roles that we are hiring now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And do you have a hybrid model right now? Are you all working remote? How does that part of it work?
Yes, so the engineering team are mostly in Singapore and India. I'm based in Singapore. There's a small team in Singapore and the big team in India, and in India is fully remote. We do have some, we do have the WeWork space, but yeah, that people feel like they're afraid to either work from the office or work from home. It's up to what they want. Yeah, Singapore similar, but we do have an office though.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. There are no questions that have come up that are beyond this right now. Thank you so much for taking time out and speaking about what it's like working with Jiva, what it's like building what you're building and the kind of work that you do. It's something that I think will help all of the candidates who have logged in here make a choice on where they want to apply, the kind of work they want to be a part of. It'll be great if you can stay on for a little bit longer in case there are any questions that come up. I will ping you, and if you're available to respond, it'll be great. And for the rest of you, in case there are questions, okay, there is one that has come up. What are the technologies that candidates need to know before they join?
I think it will be depends on one of the factors will depend on like which level that you're applying. I think for entry level, there's no depends on the role. So I guess if you apply for Android, that you need to definitely know Android. But the overall principle that we have here is, as long as you are like you have the skills to like you have the interest to learn, and you have the skills to like build certain things with like a proper modeling and like good engineering practices, coding practices. Yeah, I think that would be all. There's no like, for example, backend devs, it's no like a particular language that you have to know to get started. So we believe that, yeah, that's like people are more important than, you know, the piece of like specific piece of tech that you use.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Any other questions that come up, I will ping you one-on-one. If you're available, you can answer. If you're not available, I mean, if you log off, we will mail you and we can get the responses sent to whoever asked. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Just want to highlight one thing, I guess. It's a really great like that you take this initiative to, you know, have this training program. So I was like, like some time ago, I was in part of Women Who Code, and they do also like organize certain things like this to focus on women developers, and yeah, really appreciate. Thank you too.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We hope to be able to place a lot of women, and we hope this is something that we do regularly as well. Thank you so much again for your time. It was really nice having you.
Aishwarya, hi, Gemeng. We have one last question from Radha. This is regarding the training session for junior developers post joining Jiva. So if there is any sort of such training designed for them, can you just discuss a bit about it?
Yes, I think for entry level, we do have training sessions for I don't know, like I forgot like how long exactly it is, but I think a couple of weeks to because we do like I mentioned that we do TDD and we are like we think that the good quality of the code is very important. So I think like from my experience, it's very hard for entry level engineers to, you know, start excellently with TDD and other things. So we do have trainings for focusing on, you know, how to build, how to model the problem like in a most reasonable way, and how to have like what is good engineering practices and practice on those. Yeah, but I think it's a couple of weeks. I can get the like more detailed answer and come back to you if that's okay.
Sure. Thank you so much. If there are no other questions for Gemeng right now, we'll move to the next speaker. Thank you so much, Gemeng. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate you taking the effort and time out to come speak to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
So for the next speaker, we have Reena Francis, who's from RuleZero. She's a CA with over 15 years of experience. She's skilled in financial planning and analysis. She takes care of a lot of the MIS, the client negotiations, and the legal parts of the work here. She'll be speaking about her experience working at RuleZero, and she will answer any questions you have about the work there. Thank you so much, Reena, for joining us. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Aishwarya. Probably one of the place where you can just go ahead and say, hi, girls, right?
Yeah, it's not something I realized actually, yes.
Yeah. So, it's a big pleasure for me to actually be part of this drive. When Sarin called me, actually, telling about this drive, actually, we didn't even think twice. So let me just give a small introduction about myself. I'm Rina. I'm a chartered accountant, like Aishwarya said. I'm the director of finance, and I'm also the director of culture for RuleZero. So I handle hiring also. So I joined as the second employee in RuleZero a year back, and we are now around 50 of us. 30 of them are part of the tech team. And, like Aishwarya was mentioning, while going through all the resumes, or, when we keep getting resumes, I have always noticed one thing. Yes, the count of women coders who apply for the job are like way, way less compared to the, other gender, though I don't really like to, especially in a professional setup, I really don't believe that, there should be a distinction between the gender at all. But I've always wondered, why is it so? Is it that we get really complacent, and we don't try out new things? Is it that, or is it because it's a startup? We are a startup, actually. So because it's a startup that we're not seeing a lot of applications? So RuleZero is a legal tech fintech SaaS based platform. What we are doing is we are reimagining the private markets. So this is a space of startups, right? I mean, we keep hearing about unicorns, unicorns, and all those things happening. The ESOPs making employees become millionaires overnight, and all those things. So what we are doing is we are helping the startup entrepreneurs concentrate more on their dream by managing their captive management or the ownership in a much, much better way. So we have two kind of platform. Oh, shish. Am I audible?
Yes, Rina.
Yes, Rina.
Okay.
I think it broke up for a little bit in between, but it's okay now. It's fine now.
It's fine now, right? Okay, fine. So what I was telling is that that is the platform which we are building. So we are we are incorporated in the year 2019. And we are building this piece one by one. We already have clients on the platform. The advantage, so the founders are very well-known tech entrepreneur and one of the top 10 lawyers in India. So they both have done a lot of, they've mentored a lot of startups, they've formed a lot of companies. They've been, part of a lot of venture capital deals and private equity deals. So while doing their business, they kind of found out, where the startup world was lacking. So that is the reason why RuleZero was formed. If I can just tell you about the kind of technology which we are using, we are more into, we use Python, Angular, React, Node.js, Flutter, NLP. Those are the tech platform which you guys will be working on. I mean, whoever is interested, and however it works out. The positions which we have currently is front-end developers, back-end developers, full-stack developers, Flutter experts, and NLP experts, and all those things. So that is regarding the tech. I'm not really good at tech. So whatever I have learned is in this 1 year, working closely with the tech team and all those things. What I want to actually tell about is, how RuleZero is as an organization. So we are a completely non-hierarchical and a non-linear organization. The reason I am telling you this is, right from the juniors, the freshers who have joined the company, to the seniors, we have a very non-linear way of functioning. So you can always walk up to the founders, ask them any kind of questions. The difference what we want to make for the, private equity market and the employee force, it's like, it's just the same. Actually, we want to build a very conducive working atmosphere. We want to build a solid culture, where there is no bias, diversity, inclusion, all that is kind of part of the culture which we are building actually currently. So the advantage of that is it's a learning hub. So in any kind of challenges, only thing is that, the employees, including me, need to have a right attitude to learn, because the amount of knowledge exchange which happen in RuleZero is like kind of phenomenal. So I've always worked in a traditional setup. I've actually has got around 20 years of work experience. And this 1 year, which I have worked with this company, the amount of knowledge increase which I have had is like phenomenal. And we have had our first batch of freshers, whom we hired last year, is completing 1 year. And we keep doing in between, very friendly reviews just to understand how they are performing, what do they need from us, or is there any improvement which they can have, and all those things. So the feedback which I have got from them is really good. The reason being, uh, they kind of own a part of the product or a feature which they are creating. And what I understand is that, for the techies, it's a big matter of pride when they, we have every alternate Fridays, we have something called as a sprint board. So what happens is that the techies kind of present whatever features they have built on during 2 weeks. The kids, when they present this thing, on that the Friday evening, the kind of pride which is there in their eyes when they're like, they're saying that this is what we created. I mean, it's like phenomenal actually. So that is the space where we want our employees to grow also. I mean, probably in a big organization, it might be a little difficult for you to get hold of, or get you to work on such kind of features. So a startup, yes, it is chaotic, it is challenging, but the kind of growth or the insight you will learn, the growth as a professional and on a personal level also, what you will gain is like really, really on a next level altogether. Another thing which I wanted to actually speak about, since, I've been working for so many years, is that how important, I'm not putting down anyone or anything here. So, how important it is for us as women to have a career. We will, I mean, what I'm understanding is that all of you guys are freshers, or you must have been probably working for a couple of years. I'm talking from that point of view, that it's really, really important that, we are also career oriented. Of course, a lot of changes will happen as we progress in life. Yes, family will come in, kids will come in, all those things will happen. But a working woman always has little more confidence, uh, in a little unfortunate circumstance, God forbid, it shouldn't happen. So it's really, really important that, we concentrate on our career, we give importance to what we want, what we need also. So, though our techie side has very less of women employees, we really are looking forward to correct that in our own way also. The legal side, the lawyers, is like predominantly of women. I mean, the confidence they have, and the kind of interaction a balanced team brings in is also like really nice to see. What I've understood is that, if a team is like one gender centric, the value addition kind of goes down a little bit. Probably I could be wrong also. So we really are looking forward to having women coders on our team, developers on our team, engineers on our team, so that, our tech team becomes much more, and it's like, we tend to learn a lot from each other, right? So that is something which I am personally really looking forward through this, effort which Geektrust is taking. Another thing is that, this is the age where your investment and your personal, I mean, financial growth can happen. So RuleZero, since it's a fintech legal tech platform, the amount of knowledge about the market which just happens over a cup of coffee or a cup of chai, is like really great. I mean, you tend to hear about, which company is doing good, which share is doing good, how to go about your investment and all those things. I mean, any type of discussions keep happening. And it's we're a very fun loving team also. So, we go have regular outings. We have, quizzes. Yeah, we have a lot of employee engagement activities. So it's like, we try to do the same balancing act we as every individual try to do in their life, like balancing professional and personal. Same thing we try to inculcate in the company also, where we have always a balance between work and fun. So the 50-member team we have now currently is growing up as a family together. So that will be the kind of atmosphere which we want anyone who joins RuleZero to come into. So yeah, I just wanted to give a little insight of my experience and all these things.
Thank you, Reena.
Actually, one more point I wanted to say is that why we really thought about, being part of this initiative which Geektrust took is, ideally, candidates should be selected on merit basis. I mean, there is nothing like a man or woman. We totally don't believe like that. But, there was a report by Bloomberg in which, between 2017 and 2022, around 2 crores of working women population disappeared from Indian workforce. I mean, it's a very alarming factor. That kind of shows that, out of the eligible population, only 9% of women are currently employed or looking for opportunities. I mean, that's not the India which we want to see at all, right? I mean, we really want everyone to be doing what they really want to do. So we thought, okay, fine, let's just start this thing. And I personally would really love to see more women, working, being, standing on their feet, being happy, doing whatever they love doing, and all those things. Yes, Aishwarya.
Thank you, Reena. Thank you so much for your time. It was really nice to hear from a hiring perspective how startups are being built and why you take time and effort and put in money to bring more women onto your team. It's also very heartening to see that the amount of work the amount of effort you take to keep the freshers and the young crowd in your office engaged and sort of involved in the work that they're doing. There are a couple of questions that have come up. If you're okay to answer, the first thing somebody's written to me directly is on the hiring process. I think this is a question that will come up regardless of which company it is. So what is the process that you have for bringing?
For the techies, what we have is we have first one coding level, where questions will be given, and it'll be a live process actually. So one of our leads will be taking the interview. So we have a panel, all youngsters. They will be doing the coding test, and whoever qualified that will get into the technical round, where purely technical questions will be asked. So once you qualify that one, the process currently is that the director of engineering will have a word with them, just to it will be more of a understanding the candidate kind of around, and the last round will be taken by me, where little soft skills and the salary negotiations and all will happen. So that is the thing. So first 2 rounds are the ones, once you qualify the second round, pretty much the candidate is in.
Okay, great. And are you in a hybrid setup? Are you expected to come to office?
We actually, I know, I just saw a question where it's a job location, so it's Bangalore. We are working out of office actually until, except for the government-induced lockdowns, or when, we are okay with people working from home. Currently, why we prefer people working out of office is because we're building up this platform, right? So there's like a lot of collaboration which happens between the tech staff and the legal team and the financial analyst and the founders and all of us milake. So since that kind of works much more better in the office, so we prefer working from office.
Okay, great. Okay. I think you already mentioned the kind of tech stacks that you work on. So I think that's not a question that has come up. I will just give it a couple of seconds. In case if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. I think Reena's covered most of what goes into hiring someone at RuleZero and the kind of work they do, which is again very interesting. not something that is typically completely tech driven. It's good to see that there are lawyers on board and many of them being women. It's all great. So let's see if the candidates have any other questions for you.
Hey, I just saw one question regarding the location. So can you just tell us what the work mode is, or if it is like if you're back to office, then about the location? We have a question here.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, Bangalore is office is in Bangalore, and we are currently working out of office.
Thanks, Rina. I don't know. I think your screen froze. And given the traffic situation in Bangalore, where in Bangalore is your office?
Laville Road.
Laville Road.
It's next to, yeah, Laville
Okay.
Road.
Okay, great. Okay. Do you have any training programs within
we have continuous training programs actually, and we also encourage them to take part in different hackathons and whatever they are interested. Actually, our staff brings to us, what they want to take part in, and we also have suggestions and all this. Yeah, it's a continuous training process. Like I said, it's a learning hub.
Okay, great. There's a question on office timing. What are your typical timings?
10 to 6 is the office timings.
Okay, great. Okay. No other
5 days
questions?
5 days a week. Yeah.
Okay. What is the tech stack for front-end developers, and what tech stack are you hiring for? Two separate questions.
Yeah, so I probably am not the right person, but like I hope I'm right. I'll just tell you what are the stacks which they work on, which we currently working on: Python, Java, React, Angular, Flutter, Node.js, NLP. So these are the ones you'll get a chance to work on. When a new like Flutter actually came in recently, because we're also looking at a mobile app and all those things. So people who were interested were actually encouraged to learn, and given all the support and everything. So they formed a group, and that's how a lot of people have done. So if someone wants to continue on something what they have been doing, they're encouraged to do that also.
Okay, great. I don't see any other questions. Rina, if you can just stay on for maybe 5 more minutes.
Yes.
If there are any questions that come up one-on-one, I will ping you and we'll answer the candidates separately.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for taking time out so late in the night and speaking to us here. I hope all of the candidates have got an understanding of the kind of organization you run, and I hope you'll have some people join you as well. Thank you, Rina.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Okay, we have Vanya next here from ThoughtWorks. She's the head of technology at ThoughtWorks. She's worked as a principal developer for about 10 years now. She's very passionate about technology. And she will speak about what it's like working at ThoughtWorks, what it is being a woman in engineering, what it's like getting into ThoughtWorks at an entry level, and all of the fun things that you learn when you work there. Thank you so much, Vanya, for joining us. Over to you.
Pleasure, Aishwarya. Thank you so much. So, by the way, ladies, 60 ladies or odd. So, as much as I am excited to be here, are you folks also equally excited? So, I want to know in the chat, after going through this amazing program by Geektrust, how do you all feel? Very quick, fastest finger first. Go for it. More. There are 60 of you. Come on, show some energy. I know it's late in the night, but come on. You're all young girls, excited to make your mark in the industry. And I'm so looking forward to, interacting with all of you. Excellent. So, I generally like to start by energizing the group because, immediately after lunch and late in the night, the brain starts to sort of slow down. And that's where I guess our listening capacity and our interaction capacity also goes down. But then, since this is a very important aspect for ThoughtWorks, personally for myself, I wanted to make sure that all of you girls are listening and listening hard. All right. Thank you so much for inviting me here, Aishwarya, and the Geektrust team. As she mentioned, I am the head of technology for ThoughtWorks India. And today, before talking about ThoughtWorks, I'm going to talk about what has ThoughtWorks done to me. Okay, I'm going to narrate my story because I have very less time. I'm going to go and a little rapid fire mode, but then hopefully it will still make sense. All right, I'm going to share my screen and bring up a presentation. Can you see my screen, all of you? Can you confirm if you can see my screen? Yes, okay, excellent. All right. So, I would like to really start off with a quote, and that is not just my belief, but the belief of ThoughtWorks as an organization, and that cultivation of mind is the ultimate goal of human existence, right? It has this quote, this beautiful quote has been written by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, right? He is the creator of the Indian Constitution. I hope all of you know that, right? And this quote resonates strong and hard in the DNA of ThoughtWorks, right? Because we believe that as an organization, the only way to prosper, the only way to grow is to invest and cultivate the fellow beings, human beings around yourself, right? And that is why I think our culture, our views, the things that enable us, the things that motivate us are all built around, cultivation of people, cultivation of their aspirations, cultivation of their minds, cultivation of their skills, and cultivation of them to realize their own true potential, and make a mark for themselves, right? So I hope you know that a lot of fantastic luminaries in the tech industry like Martin Fowler, Neil Ford, Rebecca Parsons, they all are part of ThoughtWorks, right? Amazing concepts like microservices, micro front ends, DevOps, Agile, all of them, have come and stemmed from the heart of ThoughtWorks, right? We were the organization behind getting all of these amazing technology concepts into the mainstream industry, right? I hope all of you know about continuous delivery and continuous integration, tools like Selenium, tools like GoCD, right? All of these have come from ThoughtWorks, right? And that shows our passion towards technology, that shows our passion towards revolutionizing the industry, and we believe that young talent like yourself is definitely the stepping stone to, take it to greater heights. But before we talk more about ThoughtWorks, how awesome a place it is, I would like to talk about what ThoughtWorks has done to me. So it is basically my story of cultivation at ThoughtWorks. Okay. So I'm going to start off with a story, right? So this is me, a happy-go-lucky person in my initial years, right? So since I'm talking to you, I'm talking to all of you young blood freshers and grads. I'm taken like 13 years back into my career when I was myself a grad, right? And I was a happy person, very, very forthcoming, excited, motivated to do something with my life, right? I started my journey. Unfortunately, I did not start my journey with ThoughtWorks, but I did start my journey with a very large multinational organization, which has centers in India as well, right? And then after that, I joined a product company for about 4.5 years as well. But then I'm going to start the story from there, right? Like about 5 years into the journey, before ThoughtWorks happened pretty much, right? 5 years of that journey, I was a happy person, very proud of my work, very active in contributing to my work because I wanted to make a name for myself, right? But pretty much a frog in the well, right? Like, how a frog in the well is? That well is their world, right? They do not understand things beyond that well, right? And they live there and they believe that everything is hunky-dory and everything is beautiful and awesome, right? So that was my state of mind when I was about 5 years into this industry. And while I was climbing the corporate ladder, right, I heard certain things that made me very uncomfortable. Who are the they, right? The they, which are other people in your organization, thought and said that this person has great communication skills, so she would be a good manager, right? And I could see, as I was starting to take more responsibility within my organization, that there is a lot of favoritism. I will tell you one more anecdote, right? I was the only woman on that floor of, I don't know, like how many people in my last organization, right? So even though I could push forward, I could, bring my whole self to the organization, to the company, to be my best. But if you are surrounded by favoritism or, the stereotypes that a lot of people have on how women should be, progressing in their technology career, right, you are going to be inhibited. And I think that's the exact feeling I was going through, right? I was discomforted. It was just blowing my mind apart that why would people, just because I'm a woman and I have good communication skills, think that I would be, inclined towards becoming a manager and not pursuing a pure technology role. Full disclaimer, I'm the head of tech for ThoughtWorks India today, and I feel very, very proud in the journey that I have taken. Had I stuck to the organization where I was, or had I stuck to the stereotypes that they had, I would have probably been a manager, right? So the message that I want to give all of you is never take anybody's expectations of what women should and should not do lying down. Think from your gut, rely on your gut, claim what is yours, and never give up, right? Moving along, as I said, this sort of favoritism, this sort of stereotypical behavior was making me extremely nervous, was making me extremely uncomfortable. And I think when this entire thing just blew out of proportion, I decided that it's time to quit. And I saw a fantastic billboard on my way to office which said, ThoughtWorks is coming to Hyderabad. And if you have the right coding aptitude, you have the right problem solving skills, why don't you come to our office and give our coding and our interview process a try, right? And luckily, with a lot of effort, I made it into ThoughtWorks, right? So about at 5.5 or 6 years of experience, I entered into ThoughtWorks. As I was mentioning earlier, I was a frog in the well in my previous world, right? And suddenly when you come to ThoughtWorks, right, it's a different world altogether. This place has a different energy, right? This place has a different DNA that I had not seen in any other organization that I had worked for before, right? So this organization was challenging my mental models, my thought process, or the way I perceive the world in several ways at multiple dimensions, whether it was my worldview for the society, whether it was my technology view for the industry, or whether it was my view for myself, for what women are supposed to do and not supposed to do, right? So basically, my state of mind was overwhelmed, right? I was learning and unlearning at a very, very fast pace. And I was being challenged on everything that I had learned in the last 6 years of my life. And that was also a very, very uncomfortable journey. But mind you, so that journey was like a caterpillar, going on from being a caterpillar to being a butterfly, because that phase in which the caterpillar is turning into a butterfly is also very painful, because you're changing at multiple levels. You are changing yourself at various dimensions, and change is always hard, right? Remember this, change is always very, very hard. And that's exactly how I was feeling at this point of time. But I think as we see in nature, as we see in our real world, right? After every bad phase, there comes a good time. And I believe that for me also that time arrived in about 5 to 6 months, right? After fighting my demons, after acknowledging that I'm enough for this organization, after getting right sponsorship within the organization, after getting right mentors, and mind you, right, asking for help when you need it. That's another thing that I've learned in my journey, right? Do not assume things, do not tolerate things just because you do not want to sound like somebody who's always in need of help, right? It's always good to ask when you are in doubt. It's always good to ask for help when you need it, because nobody else is going to understand unless you are going to speak out, right? So I think I did my fair bit of, asking for, I need the right sponsor, I need the right mentor. And ThoughtWorks has been the kind of place which allows and invests in you as a person, right? Opportunities come to you, opportunities knock at your door. There is so much learning happening in multiple ways that you evolve as a person, right? So I like to think of myself as a Vanya 2.0, right? I'm a changed person. I think my values are still the same, but my worldview has completely evolved. My view towards technology or this society or how we are placed in this country, in this world has completely evolved, right? So it's a complete metamorphosis of my personality as a person. And I think ThoughtWorks has been the place where I have experienced a lot of first times, right? As I was telling you, right, I joined in as an individual contributor, as a developer at about 5 years or 5.5 years of experience. And ThoughtWorks is the place where I experienced first time tech lead, leading a team, first time talking to clients, because before that, I had worked only in product companies, right? First time taking a leadership role at the office level, and eventually first time leading a large organization like ThoughtWorks at a global or at India level, right? So as a person, I think in the last 6 years, last 6.5 years at ThoughtWorks, I have grown from being a developer, to leading the tech org at ThoughtWorks. So I am very proud to say that ThoughtWorks has cultivated me into what I am today, and I owe all my achievements, all my hard work, all the dimensions of my personality. I'm a conference speaker. I speak at international conferences. I'm a technologist. I'm a hardcore technologist, right? I consult our clients. I help them digitally transform, right? And I do so many other things. I'm a proponent for women in technology, and that's the reason I'm talking to all of you folks tonight, right? So I do a lot of things at ThoughtWorks, and I'm extremely honored to say that ThoughtWorks is the organization that has cultivated me. And what kind of organization would you want to work for, as young grads? I think it's up to you to decide, but I would like to take a moment to, show you a video of what ThoughtWorks is. Let me know if you can see. Can you hear the audio as well or not?
Yes, Vanya.
Oh, okay, excellent. Sorry, I'm gonna share my screen again because the video was not ready to stop. All right. So that was a glimpse of, ThoughtWorks, of what we do, what we stand for. But I would like to highlight some of the important things that you should definitely know about ThoughtWorks. ThoughtWorkers have written about 100 plus books in the last 27 years, right? So you can imagine that, as I was mentioning earlier, right? All the amazing things like DevOps, microservices, micro frontends, all of these interesting aspects, evolutionary architectures, infrastructure as code, right? All of these things have emanated from ThoughtWorks. And the fact that ThoughtWorkers are writing books, not just for their clients, but for the wider community, it shows that how much we care about giving back to the software industry, how much we care about revolutionizing the software industry by what we have learned in our fantastic culture, in our fantastic journey by working with, a variety of clients across the globe, right? So we are a professional services firm who work with variety of customers, whether in the aerospace space, healthcare, right, retail, or private sector, public sector, all of these spaces we work for our clients. And all of these books, are based on the knowledge patterns that we were able to spot in the industry and for working for our clients and able to translate them into learnings, right? There are a lot of interesting thought leadership material that ThoughtWorks publishes. One of them is called Technology Radar. I would strongly recommend all of you to check out the ThoughtWorks Technology Radar, which comes out every 6 months, where we take an opinionated stab at the technology landscape that we are experiencing, right? We talk about what are the tools, frameworks, platforms, languages, and techniques that are working for us, that are working and making its mark in the technology space that you should be following, right? So this is our way of giving back to the industry on what are the tech trends in the industry that you should be following, right? And there are many, many more such thought leadership material that ThoughtWorks publishes. Besides that, another interesting thing that you should know is how ThoughtWorks is extremely, extremely passionate about open source. So if you look at this rating, right, ThoughtWorks is a small organization, by the way. We are around 9,000 plus employees globally. We have offices in 38 countries across the globe, but we are still 9,000 employees. And we still rank at number 8 in terms of our employees contributing to open source, right? So you can see that a lot of our products like Go, Gauge, Selenium, Bamni, they're all open source products, right? So at ThoughtWorks, there is a DNA to contribute back to the society, to contribute back to the open source software so that we can have, better contribution, and it aligns with our social lens where we want to contribute to the society, help in making society a better place with the help of technology, right? So that's our number 8 ranking. You can see all the biggies out there, but then being a small professional services company, we are still at number 8, right? And now coming the important part, what kind of people are we looking for, right? We are looking for young, dynamic people who enjoy variety and learning new things, right? Who like to being challenged, who are passionate about technology, who want to champion the cause of software excellence, right? Who want to deliver agile software using the best practices, the XP practices that are there in the industry, right? I hope you all know that we are the ones who have evangelized the XP and extreme programming practices, of which test-driven development and pair programming are first-class things at ThoughtWorks, right? If you remember the video, you could see the open table culture and you could see big monitors, people pairing. So that's how we work on a daily basis, right? But at the same time, right, we are looking for people who care about the society, who care about the economic justice, because that is also incredibly important for each and every thought worker. The roles that we are looking to hire from the grad pool is that of a developer, a business analyst, a quality analyst, a data engineer, and an infrastructure consultant. So you can see that there are a wide variety of roles that ThoughtWorks is looking for. And because this is a popular question that I see as a pattern across, I'm going to talk to you about what does it really look like when you join ThoughtWorks as a grad, right? So we have a training program called NEEV. So NEEV in Hindi is a Hindi word, but in English it means foundation, right? So we strongly believe that all the incoming grads at ThoughtWorks are going to be the future leaders, right? So it's very important to invest in their training. It is very important to invest in their learning, not just technology and not just the practices that we follow at ThoughtWorks, but also the soft skills, the confidence, right? The confidence to take on the world, right? So you can see that during this program, the trainees, can see actually the ThoughtWorks culture in action, and which is the most important and relevant bit, right? It is a 6-week boot camp plus project simulation, which is augmented by a specialized training depending upon the business needs and the performance of a person, right? So what are the 3 things that we focus here? Tech skills and practices, which is the core. We want you to give a glimpse of our culture. So you will see and experience our culture in action, and you will get to understand a lot of aspects about soft skills, because since we are a consulting firm, we have to talk to clients. We represent a brand in front of clients. So soft skills are incredibly important. So you can see that it's a holistic plan that every graduate goes through to become a consultant that's going to be confident, not only in terms of technology, but embrace the ThoughtWorks culture and also understand how to present yourself as a consultant in front of clients, right? The training progression looks like this, right? There are role-specific boot camps. Then there are project simulations where you will experience a ThoughtWorks-like project as a simulation, right? As part of this program, you are going to experience what does it feel like to give a tech talk, right? You will also give social impact talks, right? The kind of things that bother you as a person in the society, right? There are going to be game nights, so there's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to be meeting a lot of thought workers. You're going to be meeting a lot of leaders in ThoughtWorks. You're going to be doing a lot of unconference style, talks. And there are going to be very interesting exercise called a fishbowl, right? A fishbowl is a very, very engaging activity in which, the entire group is sitting at the periphery of the room, and there are 4 chairs in the center of the room. There is a topic being discussed, and people move in and out of that discussion as panel members, right? So if, for instance, we start with 4 people, after say a couple of minutes, one person is going to leave the chair and run back to the periphery, and somebody from the crowd is going to come and sit, right? So it's a very beautiful and engaging activity to share our opinions, because we believe in equity, we believe in inclusion, and these are some of the ways in which we, energize the people that work for us, the people that form our core community to engage with and, grow. And this is how the graduate journey is going to look like in the first year. There is hiring and pre-joining. There is an internship that also happens for about 4 months. Then you get allocated to a project. Then there are cultivation conversations where, we are talking about your aspirations, where we are talking about what is it that you want to do with your life? What is it that you want to do in your career? And what are the technologies, kind of projects that excite you? And you have the ability to carve out what you want to do, right? And then there is a review, and that's how, you spend your first year at ThoughtWorks. What does it feel like? It feels collaborative, it feels fun, it's intense, but at the same time, it's extremely fun, and you grow leaps and bounds, right? And with that, I'm going to stop my presentation and then see if you have any specific questions. I think there was another popular question that all of you asked about the tech stack. So let me tell you very frankly, everything under the sun in the technology landscape right now, ThoughtWorks is working on that, right from what are the cool technologies in the data and AI space, to microservices, to platforms, to any language that you could think about, Golang, Node.js, Java, Ruby, right? Every language under the sun, depending upon the client need, depending upon the project that you are in, you will be learning that, right? So a lot of on-the-job learning happens, right? And that's where ThoughtWorks is a very, very dynamic place, right? We do not have like 5 or 6 technologies that we work with, not at all. And the best part is that the teams on the ground take the decisions on what technologies they're going to be working with, right? So it's like a playing field, right? You pick and choose your own tools, and you evolve, you learn, you grow, and you challenge yourself on a daily basis. I'm going to take a pause and see if there are any questions.
Vanya, thank you so much. I honestly want to learn tech and join ThoughtWorks now. Thank you.
Excellent.
Everything that you said, it's really, really nice. So I have a question that's come in as a direct message. They've asked that the training that you mentioned, is it only for freshers, or does everybody who joined ThoughtWorks go through it?
Yeah, so up till about 1 year or 2 years, this is the training program that people go through. But besides that, when we hire laterals who are above 2 years of experience, they go through their role-specific bootcamp. For instance, if you're a developer, you will go through a developer bootcamp. If you're a BA, you will go through a BA bootcamp. A BA stands for business analyst, and similarly for the other roles as well. But for all the entry-level candidates between 0 to 2 years of experience, they go through our NEEV, which is a foundation program, which is pretty much like a 1-year journey, beautiful journey of learning, growing, and evolving.
Okay, super. So you might have covered it briefly, but what is the process that you typically follow for onboarding freshers or hiring freshers?
Right. So we start with a HackerRank test, right? It's a coding problem, because at ThoughtWorks, we believe in code, right? As at a grad level, you need to be able to pull out beautiful code, but then worry not, right? Because we do not hire for Android devs, Java devs. That's not how our hiring process works. We are looking for people who understand the first principles. We are looking for people who understand problem solving, right? So we are going to give you, so if you understand data structures, if you understand object-oriented design, object-oriented modeling, and you are able to write proficient, efficient code, right? You'll be able to crack that problem and move forward. And after that, there is a face-to-face interview in which, again, there is a technical code pairing round, right? Where you pair with a thought worker to solve a problem, right? So as I said, pairing is in our DNA, in our delivery process. Pairing is also part of our hiring process, where you code and, co-develop a solution with a thought worker in an interview fashion, right? And then there is a social justice round, where we talk and understand what are your social views, right? Because that is equally important for us, not just to make sure that you are a good technologist, or you can be a good technologist, but you are a good human being as well, right? That is also a very, very important aspect for us. So there is a social fitment round and a leadership round. So about in 3 or 4 rounds, a rigorous rounds, you make it through the process of thought. So you should read about our hiring process on Glassdoor, and you'll realize that our hiring process is one of the toughest, right? After Google and Microsoft. But then it's all worth it, I'm telling you, because this place is magic. You know, it can change you from what you are and take you to a different level altogether. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vanya. I think, I mean, I might know the answer to this question, but it'll be good to hear it from you. You're moving towards a hybrid model. Is my understanding correct? Like,
Correct. Yeah. So there is another question in the chat as well. I'm going to club both the answers, Aishwarya. So job location. So we have offices in India in 6 locations, right? So depending upon what's your preference and based on the demand, you will get one of those offices. It's Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, Mumbai, Coimbatore, and Gurgaon, right? So we have offices in 7 locations in India. And yes, we are in a hybrid mode right now. But as we gradually come out and evolve out of this pandemic, there are going to be some changes, like maybe we get back to office, but right now it's a complete hybrid setup, right? And since we work with regions like North America, Europe, Southeast Asia, Australia, so anyways, remote and distributed is part of our DNA, right? So it's not a very big deal. So yes, hybrid is the mode right now.
Okay.
I think I answered the job location questions as well. How to prepare for code pairing round? I think be very thorough with your first principles, be very thorough with your data structures, be very thorough with your object-oriented design and modeling. Even if you're not an object-oriented programmer, be very thorough with your functional programming paradigm, and that's about it. I think if you have the right knack for solving problems, and that's about it. Yeah. You can take HackerRank test. I think HackerRank would be a good platform to prepare for such coding challenges. There's another question. Will you go through 4-month internship as seen in the slide deck, and then it will be converted to full-time role? Yes, you'll be going through a 4-month internship. I think that is also optional, right? If that depends on the performance within the first 6 to 7 weeks as well. I think not everybody goes through that 4-month internship, but it depends upon the performance and how the review is. So as I said, right, cultivation and feedback is a constant endeavor at ThoughtWorks. So you will get to know how you're performing, right, very frequently on almost a weekly basis. There are going to be check-ins, right? We review check-ins, and that's how you're going to be shaping up yourself. So depending upon the performance, some people go through the internship and some people don't. But on an average, that's how the journey looks like. Are the open source contributions done by the individuals or teams? So it's both, right? Individuals also do open source contribution out of passion, and there are a few projects like Bhamni, which ThoughtWorks built, and now they are handled by Open Source Foundation, but then we are still the primary contributor to that. So the teams that work on such projects are contributing to open source directly as well, right? But then pretty much out of passion for open source, a lot of thought workers do this open source contribution outside of their, client deliverables. So you can see the amount of passion that it requires to work beyond your commitments to contribute to open source. So yes, that's how it is. Are there more questions? Looks like not.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vanya. It was lovely to listen to your talk, and ThoughtWorks is my client, so I know how deeply you evaluate every single candidate who joins you, and we know the kind of work that you do, and it's mighty impressive. I think anybody who joins you will have their foundations just perfectly set, and they'll be set for life. And I'm hoping a lot of them get to join you, and a lot of them, are able to utilize the learning opportunity that ThoughtWorks provides. And most importantly, thank you so much for investing in this. I think walking when I talk is something that's very, very important, right? And I mean, there's no taking away the amount of work that corporates in India are doing right now, and how far we've come from where we were maybe 5 to 6 years back.
Absolutely.
I'm just thank you again for investing, and it's I'm sure that the girls here have benefited a lot from this. So again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your efforts in being here. In case there are any other questions that come up that are specific to ThoughtWorks, think there are a couple of questions on week offs and office timings. If you'd like to answer them now, it's great.
Sure, I can very quickly answer that. Week offs, yes, Saturday, Sunday is off, like any other organization. Office timing depends on you, right? Depends on your team contract, right? So there is no fixed working hours, right? I mean, we like to say it's 9 to 5 sort of a thing, but then I think ThoughtWorks is a place which does not micromanage you. You work with a team, you establish your contracts, and you work according to how the team wants to work. The idea is to get to the outcome. It does not matter how you work and what time you work, right? So it's free will.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Vanya. Okay, inspiring talk, and I completely agree, especially coming from someone who's been in technology all along. And it's really nice how you shared your growth journey as well. I think it helps women a lot. It helped me a lot. Thank you so much for your time. Any other questions that come up?
Pleasure. No problem.
Hail you, and it'll be great if you could answer. Thanks again. Okay, so for the rest of you, we were supposed to have Chaitra from SALT speak after this, but she's unfortunately not able to join due to some unforeseen circumstances. Thank you all for joining us. We'll try to reschedule this, the talk with Chaitra to another day. If you have any questions, please ping it on the chat box. We'll be here for a couple of more minutes. I think there were a couple of questions on how you can practice your coding skills. There's a fresher specific challenge that we now have on Geektrust. It's a superb challenge where you can hone your skills, you can get feedback, and you can improve on it. So please do try that as well. So again, thank you. And if you have any questions, please do email us and we're happy to get an answer. Thanks, everyone. Good night.